theme is hope in transition, but you can also have despair in transition. But he spoke about hope in transition. So that even in transition, there must be an ambition for a higher calling. An ambition for a higher calling in that process of transition. We cannot say that we want to transit from an independent nation to a colonized nation. We must transit from a colonized nation to an independent nation, not the other way around. Kwa hivyo, tukienda kama Kenya, we know that we have elections every 5 years because our constitution has made arrangements for a transition process, a legal transition process, a constitutional transition process. Na ndio kwa sababu tunakuwa na uchaguzi baada ya kila miaka 5. Na hapa kwa kanisa mko na transition every 3 years. Because the Constitution does that. You must breathe new life into a nation. You must breathe new life into leadership. You must breathe new life into the things and how we operate. That is transition. We want people to transit from being thieves to being good people. We don't want them to transit from being good people to becoming thieves. Transition must be underlined so that it is always for the better, not for the worse. Kwa hivyo message ambayo tuko nayo hapa, ambayo tumesikia, is so critical where we are going. Right now, we have lost over 2 million jobs in our country. Partly because of COVID, but partly because of other things in the economy. Things he talked about, corruption and other things. We have become a heavily indebted country. Our public debt is now 8.4 trillion. 8.4. And I know this parliament not too long ago had raised the ceiling from 6 trillion to 9 trillion. Don't be surprised, because most likely there's a motion on the way to raise the ceiling again from 9 trillion to maybe 12 trillion. It is coming. Lakini nikizungumza jambo la debt, people keep on thinking huyu anaongea amekuwa mtu wa kuhubiri madeni. Anazungumza tu madeni, madeni, madeni. Lakini ukweli wa mambo, wewe hapa ukitaka kutuma M-Pesa, mtu anakuambia ngoja nikupatie namba nyingine kwa sababu ile nyingine fuliza inatunyonga. Subiri kidogo nitakupatia namba nyingine. Kule juu sisi hapa mwananchi na shida ya fuliza ndogo ndogo. Lakini kule juu serikali inafuliza madeni makubwa makubwa. Waziri wa fedha akikaa sasa kule kwa ofisi yake Treasury, anauliza permanent secretary wake, sasa ni nchi gani imeitisha deni wiki hii? Ama ni shirika gani limeitisha deni wiki hii? Sasa yeye anafuliza makubwa makubwa kule, na tukizungumza hiyo fuliza, yale makubwa yanakuja kwenu kama ongezo kwa ushuru, kwa sababu serikali haina pesa, ni lazima itafute pesa, na itapata wapi? Kwa ushuru wa mwananchi. Ndio kwa sababu bei ya petroli inaenda juu, ndio kwa sababu diesel inaenda juu, ndio kwa sababu bei ya stima inaenda juu, ndio kwa sababu kodi kwa zile nguo za mitumba ambazo zinakuja inaenda juu. Kwa hivyo there is a direct connection ya hizo fuliza kubwa na yale unapata pale chini. So you cannot afford to be a bystander. You cannot afford to be a bystander. And the opportunity is now availing itself in the 2022 Constitution for you to move away from being a victim to becoming part of the solution. Sisi sasa tuanze kupeana jawabu kwa Kenya. Na kwa Kenya, the pastor said, choices have consequences. Mimi nasema, it is true. If choices have consequences, it means choices matter. Your choice matters. I must also talk to leadership in this country. Sakaja cannot speak like that because he wants to be governor, possibly, in Nairobi. But me, I must talk to it. How did we get to the situation where there's impeachment in Nairobi? Let us speak the truth. How did you arrive at a stage until impeachment is on the table? It's because of impunity. Because you don't want to follow the law. We need leaders who shall know and appreciate the rule of the law. If we continue making the mistake and saying that because I'm popular in the streets of Nairobi for this week, I can disregard the law of the land, then I am the one who is planting the seed of impeachment. When you're a governor somewhere, it is not personal property. It is a public office. You owe the responsibility to the people of Kenya and the people of the county that you represent to show them that it is a public office. And conduct your activities in accordance with the law. That is the same thing when you become president. That is the same thing when you become senator. That is the same thing when you become MP. That is the same thing when you become MCA. And that is the same thing when you become a church leader. That is the same thing when you are a principal in a school. That is the reason why if you're a trade unionist and you're a leader of the trade unionists, follow the law. We cannot have a society that will grow if we do not subscribe to the rule of law. So as we go forward, ladies and gentlemen, if we want to transform this country, let us be honest with ourselves. Let us have an internal conversation. Does my choice matter? Does my choice help positive transition, or does it give negative transition? What you do, what you say, is it for a positive transition or is it for a negative transition? These are the messages. I was reading somewhere, maybe somebody has seen it. Even we have reached a stage where leaders are scared. Church leaders are scared. Political leaders are scared. Educational leaders are scared. What are they scared of? They are scared of watu watanitandika kwa mtandao. Nikisema jambo la ukweli, watanichapa kwa mtandao. People are scared that watu wanatupigia kelele. So they have run away from speaking the truth because they are now more scared of kupigwa kwa mtandao rather than scared of going with a lie. What should you fear more? Going with a lie ama kupigwa kwa mtandao? Senator alisema hapa, wakati BBI ya kwanza ilitoka na ya pili, mimi siku sita, I came out and I said, there are areas here and here and here which would require review. Otherwise, the document as it was then is not a document that can stand the test of time. Watu wakasema Musalia, oh, you have this, they want to brand you this, I stood my ground. I stood my ground. And the document that came out, the one that I was now putting a signature to at KICC, was now an amended document. And the concerns we had raised, at least 80% of them had now been dealt with. So there's a difference. The young leaders, the MCAs who spoke here, the younger ones here, please don't allow yourself to be the leaders who swallow anything and everything. Don't allow yourselves to be like that. Kwa Kenya hii, the people who are between 15 and 39, according to the statistics of our government bodies, are 20 million. The ones who are between 15 and 39, they are 20 million. And out of those 20 million, the favor is now in the young ladies. The gender issue is favoring the ladies slightly. But the same government documents are also producing very dangerous statistics. And I speak this to the church. They are now also indicating that about 42% of our young men and women are actually living now with HIV. This is a dangerous trend. So we are fighting COVID here. But on the other side, other opportunistic or terminal ailments are beginning to grow because our young people have, and even Kenyans in total, have dropped the guard. We have forgotten that there were such challenges. They are coming back. And they are coming back with a vengeance. Just the way the second wave of COVID has come back much more stronger than the first wave, let us be careful that things like HIV are coming back with a stronger wave, and they're beginning to decimate our young people. So we have an agenda. And we also have to deal with this economy. Ndugu, Nadada, and fellow Kenyans, I'm telling you, if you do not put in an administration in 2022 that will focus on economic recovery, we are in serious trouble as a country. And that is why, to me, the message about BBI is very simple. We have debated it for 2.5 years. Vile wenzetu wamesema hapa, Sakaja and Aladwa, for 2.5 years we've debated it. Wacha hii kitu ikuje, watu wapige kura, we go this side or that way, we finish, tuende kwa mambo ingine. Let us start telling people how we shall recover. from the crisis that we are facing. Lakini hatuwezi tuseme tunaendelea ati tunataka tuwe tunaongea BBI until 2022. Hapana. My brother, the MCA there, he must tell people what he did and what he intends to do in 2022. He cannot be telling them BBI now, BBI tomorrow, BBI 2022. Hiyo hadithi tumalize. Tumalizane nayo. Juzi nilisema ni kama boil. Ile imeiva. You know a boil? When a boil imeiva, una prick and then you lance it, unafinya. You lance the boil until it comes out. Na nyumba yake. Then you start healing. Where we have reached, this debate around BBI imekuwa kama hiyo boil. We must prick it, lance it, tutoe, mkono ipone, ama kama ni matako ipone. Ama kama ni hapa. Because we all, as a human being, if you have not experienced a boil, you are a very lucky person. You are a very lucky person. But we have all experienced a boil at one time or the other. Kwa hivyo, this is it. Tufinye hii mambo ifanye nini? Ikwishe. Kwa hivyo nitamalizia hapo. Nimesema sana. But my message is that let us unite for a good purpose. Let us embrace all Kenyans. True, I'm a lawyer. Nobody can change that. Nobody can change it. But I know very well I am a Kenyan amongst other Kenyans. And we must pull together as a people. We must pull together as a nation. We must find common solutions. And we must have candid and honest dialogue with each other all the time, everywhere we sit. So that Kenya can be different. So that Kenya can be different. Yule ambaye atakuwa kule, let me tell you, transition. Transition is also a very tricky thing. Unakuwa pale, you know, mtu akihama, anahakikisha kwamba zile cables za stima nini zote zinakatwa. Wewe ukiingia, your first call is to do repairs first before you can think about settling down. So as a nation, we must know that there are going to be a lot of repairs to be done and cleanups before we move to the next level. And as I said, we must have and seek hope in transition, not despair in transition. We must always seek to have a positive contribution so that we have positive transition and not negative transition. This is where we stand, and I really want to thank Majimbo, and I also want to congratulate the newly elected office in the Quaker movement. We shall always be with you. I'm a Quaker. I go nowhere. And when we were in Philadelphia with the Sakaja, what he has said is true. Hayo yote ametaja, na hata Lado amekuwa mkali leo kwa bomo yake. But positively so. Positively so. Because we must be strategic. Basically, they are telling us to be strategic. Other communities are also strategic. They are not against us, but they are just strategic. If Kikuyus have been strategic, it's not because they are against us. It's because they have learned to adopt a strategy that works. If the Luo have been strategic, then they have adopted a strategy that works for them. So we must also learn to have a strategy that would work for us, but at the end of the day, we then unite as the people of Kenya. That is how it should be, and I'm sure it can be done. Kwa hivyo, Quakers, I know you've come from all parts of the country. As you go, go well. Go knowing that I'm one of you. Our principles of humility are so critical. And even when I went to Philadelphia, I went to the center of the Quakers. Apart from the Democratic Conference, I went to the office of the Quakers there. And you must never run away from the fact that you as Quakers played an extremely significant role in creating the most powerful democracy in the globe. Because you Quakers were there. You are part of the team that was drafting and working around the Constitution of the United States and their liberation movement. Never take it for granted. You are the ones who have a seat in the UN Assembly. Am I wrong or right? Today, you have given us good news and pass our best wishes and prayers and congratulations to Oliver Kisaka. Because, if I'm not wrong, apart from what him coming through the Quakers, I think he becomes the first Kenyan to ever sit on a committee that will be evaluating matters of the Nobel Peace Prize. That is an extraordinary honor. And it is true, some of us who know Oliver, that man exudes humility. You would not even know that he is learned in his own way. But he's just there. You could easily pass and say, huyu mtu ananisumbua atoke kando. But then he's a man with a lot of content moving forward. That has been the strength of the Quakers. And maybe that is what Kenya needs. Kenya is yearning for leaders who will show humility for the people who vote for them. We have been increasingly seeing a Kenya where once leaders are elected, they think their role is to dominate the people who elected them. They think their role is to intimidate the people who elected them. They think their role is to bully the people who elected them. They think their role is to trample on the rights of the people who elected them. They think their role is to fleece the people who elected them, to milk the people who elected them. Ladies and gentlemen, 2022 is an opportunity for us to change that narrative. Let us change that narrative. Let us get the right leaders, men and women, young and old, who will truly stand for the ideals of this country, what our forefathers wanted. Our forefathers said tupigane na ujinga, umaskini na ugonjwa. Hawa mababu zetu wakiamuka sasa na watuulize, out of the three, which one have you succeeded in battling with successfully? Is it umaskini? Which one have we succeeded? Na ujinga sio kuenda kwa kitabu na kujua kusoma. Me, that is not my problem. Academics, that is not the problem. Shida ni wewe uambie watu nimepita, nimeenda kwa shule, nimesoma. But when it comes to make a choice, wewe unajua kweli huyu mtu ni mwizi. Unajua huyu ni mkora. Unajua huyu ni night runner. Lakini unampigia kura na unasema ulisoma. Hai. Quakers mtuombe. Mtuombe. This is where our problem lies. But we can change it. And I'm confident we can change it. Through the grace of God, we can change it. Thank you. God bless you all. And as Quakers, I'm always there for your programs. Wherever they are, whatever they are, always know, as one of you, you can call on me at any time. Thank you and God bless you all. And Merry Christmas to you all.